Well, here we are now. All the lads. Now, in my previous video, we took a look at the unhinged side of the Thomas the Tank Engine community. From the infamous to the absolute degenerate, it certainly was a wild ride. But the one thing I was pleasantly surprised at was the amount of support and positive comments from you guys. The majority of comments left from members of the fandom were so wholesome and encouraging. I genuinely did not expect that response, so honestly, thank you very much. Extra love to those who became members and have got access to some beautiful perks. I will be starting a Discord soon, so keep a watch out for that. To those who became members, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. So today I wanted to show my gratitude to the Thomas community and make a video defending the fandom. We are going to hear from some members of the community and talk about the positive effect that the fandom has had. But in true villain retro fashion, we're going to take a look at some idiots who have made some unjustified attacks on the Thomas fandom. From one creator saying that all adults who watch Thomas are files, and to another who just makes fun of anyone who watches the show. I'm Villain Retro, and let's defend the Thomas fandom. The first idiot I want to talk about is a creator called Tmossboss. He's one of these lazy reaction channels that did well a few years ago, but is now irrelevant. Put it this way, the guy has over 11,000 videos uploaded to his channel. He's the human equivalent of AI slop and just throws anything at the wall to see what sticks. His Instagram is also a hot mess, as he uploads other people's videos with some very funny and insightful comments.
Is that what's going on now? Cats getting their wigs snatched off? Like, what is this?
There's two things I picked up off of this video. One, I ain't never seen a man pregnant before, and when have pregnancies lasted 15 months? I thought it was 9. Like, why is he so pregnant?
Very entertaining and very creative. So you may think to yourself, what does this guy have to do with the Thomas fandom? Basically, he got into a back and forth argument with a child from the Thomas fandom named Glenn. He then decided to make a video about the Thomas fandom and said that anyone over the age of 7 who watches the show is a file. I'm actually not making this up.
Grown-ups watching Thomas the Train, that TV show for like 5-year-old kids. Yes, there's people older than me, but if you're 13 or 20, 19, 22 or any other age, you're 40-something years old and you're still watching that Thomas the Train video, I would not be surprised if you were in prison, okay, for in the child. Because seriously, you should not be watching that show at an old age, okay? Nobody should.
He doesn't say this comment just once, he says this multiple times throughout the video.
That's how, once when you're pretty much like 7 or 8, that's when you should stop watching that show. You should not still be watching that show. To where you can understand things, your ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, and you're still watching that show. Stop, okay, stop. Because you're gonna be in the category as that guy from Subway, where his name, like Jared Fogle or something, I don't know, but you're gonna be in the category as one of the kids and in prison being beaten, okay? So it's just...
In what world does watching Thomas the Tank Engine make a file? You could apply that dumb logic to anything. You like Minecraft? So do children. You're a file. Also, do I have to state the obvious? It's okay to watch a show about trains and enjoy trains as an adult, but Tmossboss really thought he was cooking here.
Especially a show like that. It's sad. It's in my eyes, that's sad, okay? So yeah, people quit watching that show. It ain't going to help you with anything, okay? I grew up as a kid, as a little child. Grow up. Don't watch shows like that. Grow up, okay? You need to. You really need to. Somebody needs to tell you, okay?
The man who makes content like this is really judging people for what they watch. Okay, so let's hear what Tmossboss thinks is appropriate for people in their 20s to watch.
You should not be watching those shows. That's just my advice for anybody out there. You should be watching much more mature shows like the news. If you're 22 years old, you shouldn't be watching shows like that. You should be watching the news. You should be watching shows more for your age, right?
That's right, the news. The guy is really telling people in their 20s not to have hobbies and not to enjoy TV shows. They should grow up and watch the news. You're right, Tmoss, people should take advice from you. A man who covers little Tay-drama and watches people defecate in the street. You seem to have your life very much in order. Obviously got heat from this and then acted confused as to why he was getting hate. Riddle me this, Batman. What did you honestly think was going to happen? You labeled a whole group of people files for enjoying a TV show and then act confused when you get hate. Surely you can't be that dense, or maybe you can. He then apologized to the community and said he should have worded it better. But here's the interesting part. 6 years after the drama had settled down, brings up the whole thing again and doubles down on his original statement.
I think I did apologize, but then eventually I was like, you know, that was just weird. Because the thing is this. Even though I apologized, how I felt, that feeling was still there. So that's why I was all like, bruh, that apology wasn't, I can't even say that it was a valid apologizing, because it was like, I still felt the same way beforehand.
So basically, the way I look at it, he got hate from Thomas fans and then decided to backtrack in order to stop the drama. 6 years later, he randomly decides one day, actually, you know what? Thomas fans are actually files. You're an idiot. You're an actual idiot. So yeah, I seen this and had to call it out because this is potentially one of the dumbest videos I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of dumb videos. Just a little bonus at the end, I thought I would point out that Tmossboss likes to write short stories. My personal favorite is a short love story called Lost, who apparently I'm the only person to have viewed it. It's about a young woman called Mariah who has become a singer and is thinking of her old high school crush TJ. Sounds very promising. Let's take a look, shall we? He noticed a tear rolling down her face. TJ wiped the tear away and said, I want to teach you something before I go. He grabbed her by her hands and lifted them up. He then says, I'm gonna teach you something in sign language. He motioned his hands, teaching her sign language. She asks, what did I just say? He taught her, I will always be with you. She hugged him and said, I don't want you to go. TJ started tearing up, but wiped the tears away before Mariah could see. TJ's dad then approached and said, hey son, we have to go. Mariah then let TJ go. I never thought I would say this, but don't quit your day job! High school romance stories isn't for you, my guy. Neither's reacting, but you know what? Who cares? So yeah, this guy is an idiot. He's irrelevant. People who watch Thomas the Tank Engine aren't files. Who cares about this guy? The next idiot I stumbled across was a YouTuber called DIGBY_TheGoat. He's one of these furry YouTubers who do the whole when they're annoyed, fold their arms sort of thing, and it's just honestly embarrassing. So that's right, we have a furry making fun of someone. Awkward. In this video, he basically picks on some low-hanging fruit in the Thomas fandom and dumps the whole fanbase in with them. He does the whole trying to be an edgelord thing, and it just comes off as cringe.
But where's the line? There are some things in this world that a developed human brain should not be able to find stimulating. I'm not gonna hide it. You read the title. You know it's fucking Thomas the Tank Engine. That grown man's video of the toys sitting on his bedroom carpet while he voices over them explains it much better than I ever could. Good excuse to say, hey, maybe I've wasted too much of my life watching a show that wouldn't entertain a child with Down syndrome. The best part about that is the mental image. Guy with a nice stubble beard, probably early 20s, wearing like a Sesame Street onesie with stains from when he jacked off to the fucking girl train.
My guy actually shut up. And he picks on some guy who's just trying to make some wholesome content.
I think the best way to do this is starting off by examining one person in particular and using that as a bit of a case study for the group. Let's just take a look at a user by the name of Slick Doodle Guy. Do you not know that this man is the creator of Thomas and Friends: The New Adventures? Yes, you heard that right. He made a Thomas the Tank Engine fan series for YouTube.
Thomas the Tank Engine is a famous engine because he is a really useful engine.
I really should be doing other things right now. I shouldn't be wasting my time sitting here doing what I'm doing. What the fuck is going on?
I can bring Jack to push you onto your line, said Thomas. So Jack did.
I really don't want to keep watching. This is just some fucked up shit that we're looking at right here.
Need I remind you, this is coming from an actual furry. Not only a furry, Digby has been, get this, scamming money off of fans to buy anime DVDs. Just when you think this can't get any more embarrassing, he reels you in. So in the next part, he makes fun of some user for making Thomas fanfiction.
How about we segue into some fan fiction? Thomas in College, Chapter 1. Thomas had to admit that today's lesson had been much better than they usually were. not nearly as boring as usual. At least they had watched a DVD. It was a half day that day. You know, in college, those college half days.
I get the whole thing he's trying to do, but when you can barely read, it sort of takes away any momentum your point had.
It was a railway half daisy exasperates for the most train care. But she has the scrapyard ship with Timothy. It's a target Western Railroad.
How lazy do you have to be not to redo that or edit it out? Did he just do it in one take and was like, today we're gonna make fun of the Thomas fandom for being cringe. What an absolute loser. Also, he decides to make fun of the user for being married and having a child.
Then I wonder what this guy is up to now. My son was born 2 weeks ago. Oh no. Oh no.
This furry really has the nerve to make fun of someone for being married and a father. No, this furry who steals money off his fans to buy anime DVDs really has the nerve to make fun of someone for being married and a father. I mean, the guy gets horny by animals. Like, that kind of says it all. He also makes fun of the fandom for people having train sonas.
After seeing everyone's train sona, please tell me those aren't a thing. Please tell me those aren't a thing. They're a fucking thing.
My guy, you have a fursona, okay? You cannot say anything to anyone, ever. The whole video just comes across as some holier-than-thou smug idiot who makes fun of anyone for watching Thomas the Tank Engine. Watching it annoyed me because he portrayed everyone in the community as an absolute freak. He made fun of people for making some wholesome content. Making fun of someone for making wholesome content and enjoying their passion is one of the most pathetic things you can do. The fact that he chose easy targets to make fun of shows that he's an absolute coward. So yeah, Digby is an absolute furry loser who tried to dunk on the whole Thomas fandom and just came across as an absolute idiot. Also, his ex has been accused of doing some pretty dodgy stuff with minors. Awkward. Now, in conclusion, I wanted to talk about some of the positive effects the Thomas fandom has had on people. Yes, there are a few bad apples in the community. That's bound to happen with any large fandom. In fact, a lot of members of the community actually pointed this out in the comments. No one got angry at me. No one said it was wrong. A lot of people said, thank you for pointing out the idiots in this fandom. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of fandoms just would have sent me hate, but the fact that the Thomas community was able to recognize these creeps in the fandom shows a lot of wisdom coming from the community. So it's completely unfair and unjustified to lump every member of the fandom in with these freaks. There are so many insanely talented and amazing creators who keep the fandom alive today, with incredible storytelling, animations, and fan movies. And there is something I find really wholesome about people who watch the show as kids, who are now parents and get to experience and share in the joy of Thomas all over again with their own children. Not even joking, that's actually heartwarming. Now, I was going to do a whole bit where I've talked about all these creators and the impact they've had, but I thought as an outsider of the fandom, I would let the community speak for themselves. I reached out to a few members of the Thomas community, some with a massive fanbase and some casual Thomas fans, to tell you how much this fandom means to them and the positive impact it has had on their lives. Don't feel obligated, but I encourage anyone who's part of the fandom watching this to leave in the comments some of the positive experiences they've had in this community. I've been Villain Retro, you've been amazing, I've been amazing. If you like it, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. And if you really like it, hit subscribe, it makes my day. So I'll leave you with this. Thomas is a great show that has had such a positive impact on people all over the world of all ages. And the Thomas community has a special place in my heart, and I wish it well in the future. I know this is kind of mushy, but what can I say? I'm a mushy guy. So to play us out, we're going to hear the positive effects Thomas fandom has had on people. Thank you for watching. I love you all so much. God bless.
Thomas and Friends has impacted my life more than any other piece of media, period. Thomas and Friends is the reason why I have an online platform, the reason why I wanted to go to college to pursue mechanical engineering and work on locomotives, has given me my amplitude for trains as a whole, and has made me into the adult that I am today. And I feel that a lot of that is attributed to the fact that Thomas and Friends at its core is a passion project and a love letter to not only just trains, but railway history as a whole. The happiness that this franchise has brought me, the friendships it has made me, I honestly wouldn't trade any of that for the world. I truly love and care for this property and want nothing but its success. And I'm really hoping that there are other people out there, whether they're children or adults, that are able to experience the same kind of whimsy, fun, and wonder that Thomas and Friends instilled and inspired in me and made me into the person I am today.
Thomas. Now, I think the main reason I love Thomas, it's a very calm, simple, chill show. It's literally just my boy, Michelangelis, reading out some very calm, pleasant stories. And they always get me into the mood to relax. So sometimes when I feel anxiety or stress, I just pop a Thomas episode on and I feel all calm and pleasant. So that's probably the main reason I like Thomas. I also love these characters, these very sentimental characters, like Thomas's cheekiness, Percy's playfulness, Scarlo's wisdom, and Duck's willingness to work hard. It's also taught me valuable life lessons like working hard, trust and honesty, friendship, and I actually really do look up to Duck because of his unwillingness to work hard and get the job done without fuss. He's a good role model, Duck. And yeah, did I have some rocky patches with Thomas? Yeah, absolutely. I was bullied in school sometimes for it, but looking back, it was all worth it because at the end of the day, I love Thomas. I would not be the same person I am today without Thomas. So just thanks for everything, Thomas. Happy 80th anniversary to you, by the way. Just, yeah, love you, Thomas. I love you.
I'm going to keep this a bit unscripted because all I want to yap about is how much this fandom means to me. I can definitely say the biggest impact this fandom has given were definitely the people I've met and come to call us friends. Those friends either, help me write stories for my videos, or you provide narrations, voice acting, or I provide voice acting for them. But that's also one other thing. A big positive impact this fandom has given to me is definitely my voice acting career. In a sense, I've definitely matured and grew up with this fandom too, which I guess what makes it a bit more of a sentimental value to me, if you get what I mean. This place is also definitely a hotspot for talent, creativity. So of course, a lot of people love to talk about the bad of the fandom because, that's where all the juicy stuff is. That's where all the stuff that's worth talking about. And I think that's unfortunate because it only just gives the negative more power. And all I can say about my experiences is that this fandom has only ever been a positive influence on me, and all it has done is to help me improve as a person too, improve as a content creator, improve as a voice actor, you know.
The way Thomas has positively affected my life has been introducing myself to new people who, are so creative. There's so many creative people in this community, and a lot of us met at Orgy Extravaganza, which was an event in Wales this year in July. The amount of people I've met through that who are now, we're working on stuff together, or they're showing their projects to me. And I'm just so impressed with how creative they are and how well done they are. It's mental. It's mental to see how creative a fandom can be and how much money we can raise together, because that event made £250,000. It made 250 grand for the area, apparently, from a news article. That's insane. But what Thomas means to me is just being able to meet new friends and just be so creative with our ideas. But yeah, that is honestly what Thomas means to me, and I'm so grateful to be in this community.
The thing about Thomas and Friends is it's kind of a show that you can only get once in a lifetime. It's a show that embarks the values of creativity, friendship, honesty, with so many lovable, interesting characters, story arcs, and it has such a warm and inviting vibe, but at the same time gritty and dark, that it's kind of hard to pinpoint one singular aspect that defines the show as a whole. Like, you could do this with many other kid shows or cartoons nowadays, but for Thomas, it's kind of an amalgamation of a lot of things. That's why it's always been my favorite show of all time, and it probably will be for the rest of time. Like, there are other adult shows or shows for older audiences that I probably think are better, but none of them will mean as much to me as this Little Blue Tank Engine did. Seriously, that kind of stuff is elite, and I don't think anyone can ever take that away from you. Thank you, Thomas. You rock.